morning, my beautiful friends. It is early spring. Spring is finally blooming. Ah, can you feel the sunshine? Oh, I've been waiting for spring with anticipation because now all the beautiful wildflowers are starting to bloom. So today we're going to make a video all about the beautiful sweet violet. Can you believe that this amazing edible wildflower is viewed by many as a weed because it's actually highly nutritious, delicious, and it has medicinal properties too. So come for a little walk through this woodland with me that's absolutely covered in wild violets. But don't tell no one, don't tell anyone where this woodland is. It's my secret stash of violets. But come with me and we'll talk about everything violet. So you'll find sweet violets blooming in early spring. They're one of the first wildflowers, like dandelions, to really start blooming, making them a really important source of nectar for butterflies. And they get their name, the sweet violet, because they smell so sweet. They've been used in perfumes going all the way back to the ancient days, and they make a really delicious crystallized candied sweet too. Now, traditionally, violets are used as a way of celebrating and welcoming in spring, because once we see these beautiful patches of purple, we now know that the grey days of the wet winters are now behind us, and we can look forward to some sweet wildflowers and sunshine. Now, these amazing little flowers are all edible apart from the roots. The flowers edible and the leaves are edible. And they taste amazing. You can use them in syrups, cordials, salads. People like to crystallize them in sugar and sprinkle them on cakes. You can also make them into champagne, and when you make them into the syrups you can mix that into things like cocktails too. And the really cool thing about violets is whatever recipe you use, the color seeps out and changes the color of that recipe. Can you believe it's spring? I'm so excited to just get out and experience all these amazing things that come with spring. Now, these beautiful little edible flowers, they aren't just tasty and taste amazing, they're actually nutritious and delicious too. They contain high amounts of vitamin A and E and C, plus it contains a special antioxidant in it called rutin. Now, rutin isn't just an anti-inflammatory, it really helps heal and strengthen the heart. So that makes these beautiful sweet violets, not only are they just sweet and delicious, they're very healing for your heart too. So let's learn how to identify the sweet violet. Let's take a good example here. Now, the sweet violet has 5 petals. 4 poke out like an X shape, and then the last petal overlaps and pokes out like a little tongue. They smell perfumey, they smell florally sweet. Now, the leaves are a very, very important way to learn how to identify them, because like we just said about rutin being good for the heart, the sweet violet's leaves are actually heart shaped. If you can see, they're the shape of that symbol that symbolizes the heart. Now, if it's heart shaped and it has them toothed jagged edges, that's a sweet violet leaf. And you can also make teas out of these, and these are also very nutritious too, and they're really nice in salads. Now, they're very, very mild flavor, but that's exactly what you want for a salad leaf. So, 5 petals, 4 poking out like an X, the bottom one overhangs like a tongue. That's the way I always read it in books described, as a face with a tongue poking out. Most commonly, there'll be this purpley blue colour, but you can also find white ones and yellow ones, and who knows the list of other colours that you can find around the world. Now, growing wildly here, we get sweet violets and dog violets, And you can tell the difference. You can tell this is a sweet violet because it smells really sweet, whereas a dog violet doesn't have any smell at all. Now, the only violet that you don't want to eat is the African violet. I'll show it on the screen here now. These are the ones that you'll commonly buy in garden centres, things like that. You don't want to eat the African violet, but the sweet violet and the dog violet are both edible. So let's follow tradition and celebrate the beginnings of spring by making ourselves a beautiful violet tea. And this tea is traditionally used to be a calming and soothing tea, and it helps treat things like anxiety and insomnia. All you need is 2 teaspoons worth of these amazing flowers, or mix the flowers and leaves, or just use the leaves, and that will make you a beautiful violet tea. Now, to make wildflower tea, it's normally the same thing each time. I've got my 2 teaspoons worth of wildflowers, but this time I put them in a bit of water first just to give them a little clean. Now, pop them in your glass. I'm only going to use the flowers today so I can really accentuate the colour. Put them in your glass, then add your almost boiling water. This is gonna be interesting. So, we've got our violets in the boiling water. Now we've just got to stew them. Just like a regular cup of tea. Now, after stewing for a little while, you'll notice that your tea starts to turn this beautiful shade of blue. Look at that. Now, they say you should stew it for about 12 to 15 minutes. So I'll let it go for a bit more. But wow, look at that. Now, this tea is a really soothing tea, and it's a calming tea, and it really helps with anxiety and restless sleep. And not only that, but it contains the vitamins A and E and C, and that beautiful antioxidant rutin that's really good for your heart and blood vessels. Now, cheers to the spring ahead. It's very mild tea, very, very floral tea. Tastes like a herbal tea to me. Look at them flowers just floating around. That lovely shade of blue. Look at that. Doesn't that just represent spring? Spring just brings so much joy and colour, and this tea is just an absolute symbol of that. Now, that tea is amazing on its own, but I've got a magic trick to show you. Magic trick? This is cool. This is one to show the kids. So, you get your tea. That's already an amazing shade of blue. You get a lemon and you add some juice into it. And you stir it. And look, it changes colour! I now have a pinky purple violet tea. And, oh, mixed together, that is an absolutely beautiful drink. I don't know if you like drinking lemon in warm water. It's like that, but like a herbally floral version. And look, ta-da! It's turned pink. Wow. Spring blessings, my friends. Now, in the world of herbalism and mythology, the violet has always been used in love potions to make people fall in love with you. But for me, I feel it's more important a bit of history that goes with the violets. You see, the violets used to be abundant and grow as far as the eye can see for a very long time until World War I, when the mass amount of trench warfare and the industrialization of all the woodlands and the lands and the mass farming and the construction of roads, they took a massive toll on the violets, and now they're just not as abundant as what they used to be because of all the things mankind's been up to. So that leads me to sustainability of the violets. If you find a patch of violets, if it's just a small patch, then just let them be for the butterflies and the bees, because we want to keep that balance between us and nature, and they're such a serious source of nectar for butterflies that if it's just a small patch, just leave it be. But if you find a forest or a woodland like this that's abundant, then of course help yourself to a cup of tea, or maybe even treat yourself to a cordial or a syrup or a salad. As long as you just keep that balance between us and nature, that's the main thing. I said it before, I say it again. Nature can provide for everyone's need, but not everyone's greed. And there's no such thing as a weed. A weed is just a flower growing where someone doesn't want it to. Anyway, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed spending your time in the woodland with me, frolicking in the violets, and look after yourselves, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.